So, welcome everybody to this meditation. As you probably know, my name is Dominic Cogan, and I teach in the Mindfulness Center. And as we begin to practice, just considering how best you can use this time to support yourself. At the very basic level, we can use the practice to support ourselves in terms of reducing stress, but also we can use the practice to enrich our lives so that we can actually thrive and flourish. In a way, this meditation is a kind of tending or process of fertilizing the soil. And I just realized that I have a quotation here that kind of refers to that specifically. So it's from John Kabat-Zinn. He's talking about acceptance and compassion. And he says, the soil of practice requires the fertilizer of deep self-acceptance and self-compassion. Harshness and striving ultimately only engender unawareness and insensitivity, furthering fragmentation just when we have an opportunity to recognize that we are already okay, already whole. So as best you can, dropping the attention into the body. Noticing how the body is right now. It may be that for some people there is some discomfort or pain, or some physical tension. And you might like to experiment with the idea that as you breathe out, that if it's possible, but we're not striving, that maybe some of that tension or discomfort could be let go of. And if that's not possible, and it may not be possible, can you bring some kind allowing to how the body is for you right now? And if you tune into the mind, the activity of the mind, just being curious about how that is right now. And as best you can, just stepping back from the activity of the mind as a gentle observer, dispassionate observer. And recognizing that for any one of us at this time, that might not be possible because we may be significantly distressed about something. But as best you can, rooting the awareness in sensations in the body, this can sometimes be a way of giving ourselves a little bit of space from the activity of the mind. And also inquiring into the mood, the emotional weather on the inside. Of course, our thoughts and our emotions are intimately connected, very often in a kind of feedback loop, one affecting the other. And the mood, how we're feeling on the inside, can very often be almost as mysterious for non science people as the changes in the Irish weather. Where has the sunshine gone? It's summertime, it should be warm and it should be sunny. And of course, we may have similar shoulds about how we're feeling. I should have more energy. I should be more relaxed. I should be more tolerant. All of these shoulds can compound maybe difficulties that we are encountering. So if you had a poor night's sleep, is it reasonable to expect that you can get all your projects completed as your mind tells you you should? It's not unreasonable to think that if you had the facility that on a day where you're lacking sleep, that you would tune into the energy of the body and see what does it need. And maybe doing less could end up being more fruitful if you have that flexibility. If there's a storm brewing within us, it's wise to take shelter. We may do that in many ways, such as what we're doing right now, coming into some kind of stillness. connecting with other human beings who also go through a range of challenges and emotions. Or there may be more mundane things that we do to mind ourselves, like simply having a cup of tea, doing some baking, singing, dancing, gardening, picking up the phone and talking to a trusted friend. It's good for us to all have a menu of things we can turn to when the day is not going quite the way we would like, or when we're going through a period of difficulty, which we all sooner or later do. And there's great nourishment available for us in a sort of conscious non doing, which is what we're engaged in right now. So, finding sanctuary in being with the movement of the breath, if that feels appropriate for you. And of course, there are always other options. Everything that my words here represent are simply just offerings to support you. But you may know better. Tuning into the steady flow of the breath, for many people, is reassuring. Or we have the option of feeling the connection to the earth, the feet in contact with floor, the body in contact with chair or bed. Or we might like to open the eyes if they've been closed to find reassurance in the familiarity of the physical surroundings that you find yourself in. We also have the option of tuning into sounds, the sound of breathing, ticking clock, the hum of an electrical appliance, the wind in the background. All of these anchors of attention are just devices that we use to deepen into a stillness which we may feel in the body, but also come to recognize in the mind. This stillness, which we're often encouraged to avoid, which maybe for some of us brings a certain fear, perhaps. This is the stillness that truly nourishes. Occasionally, stillness can be upsetting for people, and it's fine for people to distract or stop a meditation if that's what's happening for people. But we can, over time, discover stillness as a friend. And the good news is that mindfulness is not really about technique. It's much more about relationship. So there's really nothing we have to get right. But there's an invitation to welcome ourselves into being, and to accept ourselves just as we are. And that welcoming and accepting is very little to do with technique. So we don't have to be good at mindfulness. If we're willing to stop for a few moments and enter into stillness, we have arrived in a new kind of relationship with ourselves. Where our difficulties and challenges become opportunities. In growing acceptance and appreciation of ourselves and everyone around us. So I'd like to end the practice with a short poem by Raymond Carver. It's called Late Fragment. And in this poem, he seems to be anticipating the end of his life. And it goes as a kind of a dialogue, and it says, "And did you get what you wanted from this life? Even so, I did. And what did you want? To call myself beloved, to feel myself beloved on the earth." So, how would it be if for the rest of the day we called ourselves beloved, or beyond this day?